This is a Harper Guys production.
The Harper contains foul language and adult material. If you are easily offended and thin-skinned, you should hit the stop button now. And if you are not a complete idiot, let's get this party started.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
You know, but good luck arguing that in court. Let me get down to brass tacks.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the ape?
Jack, let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
Are you hating on Neil Diamond?
Holy fuck! Fuck Neil Diamond!
Our dream of deathmatch is going to come to fruition, and my golden ticket is going to pay off. Hoo-ah! Don't you fucking hoo-ah me, motherfucker!
I want the ability to time travel.
Dumb. This is stupid. Welcome to the Harper, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jake. With me, as always, my co-host Adam.
That's right!
Coming at you tonight with episode number
79.
Yeah.
Bam!
Cruising right on through.
You know, some people don't know who our disclaimer gal is.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, that's one of Jake's daughters.
That's right.
We'll throw her name out. Kylie.
Yeah.
And as she's saying, if you're not an idiot, and right there I'm like, you know what? She should have just said douchebag. I know when she was recording that.
Yeah.
Well,
we scripted it for her, and she was 16
well,
at the time.
you had said that she will not cuss in front of you. Do you think she would now? Can we splice that in there? If douchebag.
I've heard her accidentally cuss a couple times.
Yeah.
Like especially there was one time on the phone, and she was on the phone with her friends, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
I didn't know you were there.
Right.
But no, I was thinking, or maybe we cut her out. And we have you saying douchebag.
Yeah, we're probably not going to do that.
No.
No.
All right.
That's old school gold. We'll keep it.
That's her little piece of the island.
Right. So
All right.
we'll go ahead with the PSA for the evening.
Big time PSA. Episode 79. Visit us at theharperguys.com. There you can follow and share. You can also visit us everywhere that podcasts are found.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube. Start over. Go to our YouTube channel again and subscribe. We are stuck on 38. Apparently nobody wants that 50th free brass tacks t-shirt.
Right.
What I just said was the 50th subscriber gets a free brass tacks Harper Guys t-shirt.
Why did you change your voice right there to like a low testosterone redneck for a second?
Why not?
See, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of strange.
I'm fitting characters here.
All right, then.
Also, check out our Patreon website and find our missing episodes. Said it before, I'll say it again.
Yep.
The missing episodes are starting to build up.
Yep. There's some gold in them hills.
If you want to find some oil, get up in there and get yourself a membership.
That's right. Good times.
The website is www.patreon, that's patreon.com/Harper Guys Production. So,
what's that mean? You get 2 shows
for the price of 1. All right.
You're really into that falsetto tonight, aren't you?
I am. That's all I got. You got anything you want to talk about real quick, like?
I got no giant PSAs to be thrown out there to start, so what's topic number 1?
Well, I do.
I'm going paperless tonight, so this is my my opportunity for the environment. I'm going free solo.
Yeah, he's proud of that. We've got 2 of our VIP Patreons getting this Gallows podcast koozie.
Boom.
And that'll hold the beer or soda pop if you desire.
That's right.
And keep it cold while your hands stay dry.
That's right. So when you get into your second month of being a Patreon subscriber.
Third month,
you get your option between the Gallows, which is our sister show, or the Harper. So either way, you're either going to have an electric chair or a middle finger on your can at the party. Somebody's going to ask about it, and you're going to be the only one with that koozie there.
And I think then we have T-shirt and a mug giveaway as well.
That's right.
For those members.
That's right.
Now that is the VIP member. So don't forget that.
That's right.
By the way, the mug.
Yeah.
You and I had talked about how one of our giveaways.
Yeah.
The lady would take it into her office. The Harper mug.
Yeah.
We were like, you are badass. Jake even's on record saying, I don't know if I could do that because you're still at some point walking around with this here mug with the middle finger out.
That's right.
Even though it's slightly covered up with the word podcast.
Yeah.
But I have a little story.
Okay.
I scared myself. With the work at home, remote stuff.
Sure.
A lot of times, if I'm going in, I'm driving in and got my cup of coffee with me because they're not making coffee at the plant right now. They're just not doing it for COVID reasons. Got it, understand it, move on.
Okay.
So I walked in to the office with my mug,
Yeah.
completely oblivious which mug I had.
Yeah.
No one saw me. No one chatted. It was not the conversation piece because no one saw me because there's hardly anybody in the office.
Right.
So the other day, I noticed that I had forgotten it, and it had a little bit of coffee in it, like sometimes my coffee cups do.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, shit, that's been here for about a week. I better go rinse it out, which I did. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this home. So I set it. Remember the old receptionist desk?
Yeah.
I set it right. Now, I did this on purpose. I set it right up against the wall, like the lobby wall.
Yeah.
At the receptionist desk so no one could really see the emblem.
Yeah.
Thinking about the emblem.
Sure.
And I'm like, I got to remember to get that.
Yeah.
Forgot it.
Oh, so it's just sitting there right now.
No, I went back in and got it.
Oh.
And I figured it'd be spun around and be like for everyone to see. Nope, in the same position. So while I was at home for those couple days that I remembered I forgot it, I was like, I know nothing's going to happen. Nobody's going to say anything because no one's even there. But
Yeah.
I just kind of thought that maybe somebody would be like, and whoever left the middle finger mug up front.
Well, you know what happens is if anybody ever accused us, we'd be like, look, people buy stuff from our merch store.
All the
we know
time.
we know there's people from the building that listen to us. I have no idea which one of our patrons it could have been.
Yes. But don't be too hard on them because they are fucking awesome.
That's right. You should give them a listen. Maybe you'll want one too. All right, give me a breakdown here.
Here we go. Are you ready? Are
Yeah.
you ready?
I don't even know what the topics are, so we're firing from the hip.
Fingertips are flying. Okay. Today, in today's society, right now, currently, you walk outside, you go to any store, you are going to see people with masks. And it's always kind of funny, too. If you haven't donned your mask outside of your car or inside your car before you're getting to this establishment, like I'm talking about grocery stores,
Sure.
banks, whatever, people are doing it right outside the door.
Yeah.
And the other day, I saw somebody doing this, and man, it just looks like they're about ready to go in and rob the place.
Yeah.
And that made me think. Now that masks are so much more acceptable and needed, required some
Sure.
places, how many of the bad guys you think are exploiting this? Have you heard? I haven't been watching the news. Have you heard of man, we've had a rash of outbreaks with people wearing COVID-19 masks?
I have not.
I wonder why. You think it would be a perfect opportunity? People are on unemployment. I can wear a mask. My identity's already hidden. I don't look suspicious.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think that you could put you in a lineup with 7 other people that all have masks on, and I'm going to pick you out every time. I mean, if I get to see somebody from here up, I'm going to have a pretty good idea what I'm dealing with.
Correct. I knew you were going to say that.
Okay?
I have seen people. Now, I haven't seen them as recently, but when the first outbreak started before, like when the toilet paper shortage was still out,
Yeah.
I remember seeing a lady, sunglasses, mask, hoodie, pulled like Kenny
Sure.
from South Park.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're not picking me out in the lineup now.
What I'm going to say is this, is that is all going to be well and good until somebody gets the bright idea to do what you're saying and go ahead and rob the place, and then we're going to end up with this situation. No hats. Glasses can only be see-through like actual wearing glasses. Like you're not going to be allowed to wear
But
sunglasses
sir,
into a school.
mine are permanently tinted.
Well, I'm just telling you what's going to happen. And then they're going to have a little mask station for everybody that comes in so that you have to wear the actual little blue and white surgical mask instead of whatever mask you choose. So I think that there's a way to crack down on a little bit, but I don't think any of that's happening. I mean,
I have not heard. You think, personally, I think there's enough idiots out there that would have tried this already.
Yeah, I don't feel like it. I feel like we're in such a time of heightened alert about every single thing that people do and say, and you can be canceled for literally anything at this point in your life. I feel like everybody's so hyper vigilant. I mean, you think about this fact that when you are in that store right now, if somebody doesn't have a mask on, I mean, even before it was the rule, you always noticed who that person was. Right, to where you're on constant alert and noticing people. If somebody's got a funky mask
like that
on,
now.
right? If you were walking through a store and there was one person that had a mask on that had something, say they had like a rebel flag on, right? You would remember that person for having that on there.
I would.
You would, and if you saw somebody that had something cool,
Piece
like
of shit.
if you saw somebody that had a Step Brothers mask on, like that had the two guys on it, you would know, like you would remember that guy. You'd be telling us like, oh man, I saw a Step Brothers mask today. To where I feel like it's just another way that you can identify somebody is by what they had on.
Sure.
And somebody's going to realize this. If you put it out there like, 2 men robbed a store today, one with a Brendan and one with a Dale mask on from Step Brothers, somebody's going to be like, damn
Well,
it.
you wouldn't rob a store with that. You'd get one of your surgical ones.
I'm just saying.
And go to town.
People, you're going to get caught one way or another. Everything's so hyper vigilant these days.
I know, but
and
I'm just saying.
Nah, I don't think so. Everything's on closed caption television these days. I mean, closed circuit television these days too. You're going to get caught one way or another, especially a place like that. I mean, they got cameras out in the parking lot and everything now.
No.
You're going to get
For
caught
sure.
one way or another.
For sure. With the cameras, yeah. I mean, okay, that's a grocery store. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't really heard about many grocery stores getting knocked off.
Yeah.
More than likely, it's because of the cameras.
Yeah.
But I just hit my thought process the other day about why not like gas stations and stuff. I mean, I don't.
Sure.
But I mean, a lot of gas stations have cams now too.
They do. I don't know.
But there are enough desperate people that would just walk up from like parking the next building over, walk up and hit the place.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that it's going to become a big thing. That's just my own personal. So.
Okay. But I'm surprised because people take advantage of a lot of opportunities, and to me, this is an opportunity for the bad guys.
Yeah.
So, what did I have actually wrote down? Back in the day, people used to put on masks to rob stores and banks. How suspect are you of people wearing masks now, and how long will it be before bad guys start robbing places more frequently? I'm honestly surprised. I haven't heard more robberies taking place.
Yeah, I don't know.
We covered it all.
I feel like there's enough crazy shit going on in the world right now that doesn't register high on anybody's list at this point. So
I think you'd be surprised.
yeah, I'm just saying. To me, I feel like some of that kind of stuff isn't really what the focal point of.
I mean, for
criminals
you,
and shit
for
are
you
right
and me,
now.
it may not be. We have our jobs.
Yeah.
But what about this guy that hasn't got his unemployment check yet?
Yeah.
And he's got to do something. He's got to make something happen.
Think about it this way, though. If you are a person that has that kind of intent in your heart, right?
Well, sometimes you might be forced to.
Okay, even if you're forced to. Now, think if you were actually going to plan this, are you going to get yourself in an outfit like that and go rob a local place like we're talking about, just because everybody's got masks on and you're going to be a little bit more concealed? Or are you going to follow, hey, there's rioters all over the place. I'm going to get me a mask that has one of a number of different slogans to identify that I'm part of the mob here, and I'm going to go loot and pillage with everybody else and get mine that way in a way that you're probably a lot less likely to be prosecuted for anything.
Are they still rioting?
Every day.
Really?
Yeah, like
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I have not watched the news for a month and a half.
it's getting worse. Like people, like there's certain places that it's getting better, but like, obviously about the murder outbreak that's been going on in Chicago for years now and how much worse it's getting. You know what Michigan Avenue is in Chicago? The Miracle Mile.
I've heard of the Miracle Mile.
It's kind of like Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles, to where it's all high-end Saks Fifth Avenue, like Tiffany's, big badass stores, looted, rioted, blown out, like downtown, to where like they actually pulled up the downtown bridges to restrict access in and out of actual downtown Chicago. I don't know if you've ever seen downtown Chicago. You got the Chicago River that runs right through the city.
I've been through it, but it's so congested. I don't know where the hell I'm at.
Well,
so.
that's two of the main points of entry. Are the two ends of this that runs the whole way through the city. Huge drawbridges up now, to where nobody's getting in or out that way, and now they've got blockades all over the place, like severely limiting the number of people that can get in and out of the area. It's getting worse. Portland is on, I don't know, day 70 or 80, whatever consecutive days in a row that have rioting going on. Just a little bit of an update on some of this stuff.
How do they riot for that many days?
Because they just keep going, man. It doesn't stop. Seattle is actually, did you see what's going on in Seattle in the last 24 hours?
I haven't watched the news in a month and a half.
So the whole defund the police thing, Seattle is following Minneapolis's lead, and they've actually decided as a city council, they are in the process of defunding their police. They're eliminating 100 jobs immediately. They're cutting funding by 50%. And the plan is to, over the next couple of years, they're going to completely phase it out. They have what are called citizen officers that are going to be around to help in situations when things arise. And within 24 hours of this coming out, their police chief, who just happens to be a black woman, quit. Put her resignation in immediately. She said that it doesn't have to do with the rioters or nothing like that, that she cannot continue to be the person that's putting people in harm's way, naming her officers, because of the disrespect that's shown towards police officers now. So they got no chief and they're being defunded. So
How in the hell? I'm sorry. That is the most ludicrous thing, to defund the fucking cops.
I mean, and you talk
Just
about,
get the fucking, figure out. It's not that hard to figure out. You can look at people's records, the police officers' records.
For sure.
Get the bad ones out.
I mean, we all agree with that. I mean, if there's one huge positive that's going to come out of this, cities are starting to already adopt different vetting processes, different training processes. Like, there are things that are going to be implemented, and it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, that's the thing too, is like, we're all on the same page. We all want this to be better.
Why would you want...
I've been hassled by asshole cops. Maybe not to the degree that other people have. Certainly not to the degree that other people have. But I've been hassled more than once by asshole cops. There are asshole cops that definitely need to be taken off the beat. We're going to see real quick. Seattle, to me, is going to be even more interesting than Minneapolis because of the geographical location that you actually get into with Seattle. It's a northwest port city. To where once you get outside of Seattle, it doesn't take very long to get out into Washington State. Well, there ain't shit. There's little BFE towns. I mean, you think of how many cities can you name in Washington? Seattle, Olympia, Walla Walla. I mean, you're going to come up with a very short list. It's not very long. To where there's a lot of room out there. I feel like human trafficking, drug trafficking, stuff like that, when you get into a city that's going to be defunded, it's going to turn into the Wild Wild West. Part 2.
Why would you want a lawless city?
They're not saying lawless, just policeless. There's still going to be laws to where
Who's going to enforce them?
That's the question. That's the $10,000 question that
They're going to be doing
to.
100 miles an hour from point A to point B in their cars every single fucking day.
Right.
There's going to be 1,000 car accidents, bad ones.
People are already moving out. There's businesses and stuff that are moving their headquarters. I mean, even if they're not leaving the state, they're leaving the city.
The other day, I saw something, and it blew my mind, and this had nothing to do with COVID, lawlessness, or anything.
Yeah.
But it just struck in my mind, this is the type of shit that's going to happen. Driving down the highway, there was these 2 cars flying. You every now and then you see this. It's ridiculous. I was probably like this as a punk. But flying down it looked like they were, I don't know if one pissed off the other.
Yeah.
But this dude in front made a third lane in the median, just went around everybody. Like,
Yeah.
for 100 meters, went down and then back in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy fuck. And he was probably doing 90 or more.
Yeah.
I was doing probably 80. He's probably doing 100.
Yeah.
Flying down in the run. I'm like, the first thing I thought of was oh my God, I'm glad we didn't die.
Yeah. It's
So
ridiculous.
now we go over to these defunded police zones, areas, states. Is it the whole state?
No. It's just the city right now.
The city. And what, I mean, it's not a small place.
No.
What I can't even just imagine the roads. Forget about the drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit, if you want to sell some drugs
Right.
on the street, who's going to pop you?
Here's what's going to happen, and this is my own personal thought on this. This is going to become a case study very quickly that sociologists and pathologists and stuff are going to be watching to see what actually happens here. Just like we had in Denver. Remember when Denver legalized, they were the first ones to legalize weed, to where everybody was like, what's going to happen in Colorado here? Because Denver is the only huge city there to where everybody was watching to see how they did it, what was the good, what was the bad. That's what's going to happen here. It's going to end up under a microscope to see exactly what happens with it. I can't imagine that it's going to be any kind of good.
I'm sorry. This is where the common sense flag kind of gets doing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is no good.
I agree.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would rather there not be as many laws. I love speeding down the highway, and it would be great if I could just do it and not get a ticket.
Yeah.
But I understand why you just can't go as fast as you want.
Sure.
Because too many people will die.
Yeah. I do have a little COVID story.
Let's do it.
So we took my youngest daughter, the one that does the intro for the show, we took her to college yesterday, right? So we're on the turnpike, and we stop at one of the stops on the turnpike. You know, people got to go to the bathroom, want to get something to drink, you know, no big deal. So we stop on the turnpike, and very systematic. I feel like we have all, as a culture, we're all starting to embrace like personal space, you know, making sure that you're not too close to other people, that your mask is on at all times.
Some people have.
I think most of us have. I mean, there's still some holdouts, but on a whole, most people are being respectful, you know, to concerns that other people have, right? So we go in, you know, everybody goes to the bathroom, you know, go in the bathroom, you know, make sure that you're not right beside somebody, you know, you're at least one down to give a little bit of space and everything. We come out, and you know how they always have like the vending machines, like in a row? So we're all standing there talking for a minute. You know, does anybody want to get something to drink? What do we want to do? You know, there's 5 of us, but we're all together in a group where we don't have to socially distance from everybody else. You know, we're all together, and we're off to the side. This guy comes out of the bathroom, and I didn't hear exactly what he said. He made some smart-ass comment about us taking up the whole walkway and kept walking. And I turned to him, and he starts heading out. Because you know how, like, there's 2 different sides? Like, you have the trucker side and, like, the regular people side. He starts heading for the trucker exit. I'm like, yeah, we're all clear off to one side to make sure you have enough room to get through, sir. While I'm in the middle of getting this sentence out, for a reason that's unbeknownst to me, he leans forward, takes his hands, grabs both of his ass cheeks through his shorts, and spreads his ass cheeks through his shorts, and is walking out the door, double fisting his own ass, like he's showing me up somehow. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Be the cocksucker walking out the door. Have a great day. And we're like, what the hell was that? Now,
Were those your exact words?
swear to God, I called him a cocksucker. Now, my oldest daughter, she is very socially conscious of everything. You know, she's fantastic. She, like I've had to yell at people on the boats a couple times because somebody wasn't watching what they're doing, you know, to where I felt like they were coming real close to hitting our boat, you know, to where like I've yelled at a couple people. Situations like that, she doesn't like that. You know, she's like, stop it.
Don't like
you
the
know?
confrontation, Pops.
No, even her though, she was like, I'm not even mad at Jake. That guy was being a jerk. I'm like, thank you, honey. Like, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, if people are trying to distance,
That's going on the new the new montage, by the way.
And if you're in a little group and you see a little group of people and they're not actually in your way, just walk around them. It doesn't have to be that big of a deal.
Don't run your fucking mouth.
Right. I'll for the rest of my life, I want to find this guy again and be like, can you just explain to me what that double ass grip thing that you did was? Like, I don't know. Were you literally trying to shit talk me? Like, I don't know, like, what the plan was that he had with that.
Why would you grab your backside, spread it apart, and we'll keep walking?
But it wasn't like he was like he didn't like give the ass back, like, oh, kiss my ass. Cause like that's how, if he'd been like, I'd been like, fuck you, you know. But I'm talking, it was like an aggressive 2 hands on his own butt. Like, you're gonna tear something, bro.
Maybe he just took a deuce and he was like,
right,
smell this?
right.
I didn't quite finish the wipage.
Yeah. Well, then we had another asshole trucker while we were driving because we had 2 cars going up, right? So I'm following my wife. She's riding in the middle lane. I stay back a little bit, but like right there, you know. This semi decides, I want to be in the middle lane, and just like merges right into her. Well, we get about 5 miles down the road, and it goes from 3 lanes down to 2. So what do? I strategically slide up, and I get right in my wife's back pocket. So she's in the right lane, I'm in the left lane. Guess where this guy's at? Stuck right behind her, can't go around nobody. Oh yeah, that lasted about a minute before he laid on the horn. And then,
fuck you, trucker. You know the truckers used to do that back in the like 90s.
Oh yeah. So I take off a little bit.
Hated that.
I take off a little bit, and I thought, okay, the wife will just follow me, take off. So this guy comes flying around, pulls back in front of her, and then slows way down. Now, one of the things that we've talked about ad nauseum as a family is like, if you're ever behind somebody that you think is crazy or drunk, you don't go in front of them, right? I didn't think that we were really at a whole lot of risk. I mean, he beat this horn, but I'm watching this in my rearview mirror. My wife totally plays it smart. She's just like, nope, kept slowing down. At one point in time, she's going like 50 down the interstate where people are going 75, 80 miles an hour until the guy finally took off a little bit, and she ended up slagging way back. And when we were going to get off of that exit ramp, you know, when we were going to get off to stop and go to the bathroom and stuff to make sure that he didn't stop there.
Yeah.
So we were glad to get away from him at that point in time.
I got one quick one.
Okay, sure.
Driving one. Wadsworth, main exit, 94. I get on going towards home.
Yeah.
Towards Norton. 2 or 3 cars behind me like normal. It's a congested area. Get on, merging on. And they have a really long merge lane.
Okay.
It's like takes a while, but there was cars all over the place on the highway. So There's a car in front of me, a car in front of that car, 2 cars behind me.
Yeah.
We're all going out kind of together. Mm-hmm. The car behind me decides she wants to go faster. So she's like, "Rrr!"
Yeah.
And then I'm going out, and there's cars in the passing lane.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. And I look back, and she's going, oh, jeez, I can't. I'm just like, where were you going to go?
I mean, right.
Where were you going to go? I'm in front of you. What happened was she got over a little bit before I did, but I'm still in front of her.
Right.
And we're all merging on. So even though she did that, the passing lane was full. Cars were getting over to allow us to get on.
Sure.
And she flipped her fucking freak. Of course, I think she figured it out pretty quick that, okay.
Yeah. Knocked it off.
Because I was waiting.
Yeah.
I started to slow down. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, come on, come by me once. She wouldn't fucking do it.
Wouldn't do it?
I think she realized, okay, I'm a doucher.
Yeah.
Had a doucher minute. So
That's so ridiculous.
if that was you, I applaud you for not coming up and fighting with me because we would have just had a bird war.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
All right. Next topic. Lady chores.
Lady chores. You
Now-
want to explain it?
I do want to explain this. So Jake and I had this conversation over the phone.
A little bit.
And I said, listen, my wife, this is kind of a funny story. She wanted my dog to have a dog hammock.
Okay.
Interesting, right? What it pertains to is a dog cot.
Yes.
But it resembles kind of a hammock, whatever.
Okay.
And there are some you can build that are more like hammocks. Anyways, I wouldn't want my dog on a hammock because the hammock we do have that she gets on, it sways too much. She don't like it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what this whole project is some PVC pipe in a small rectangle, and you get some cloth and you fold it over, and you need to sew it.
Yeah.
And so, my mother bought all the ladies in the family a nice sewing machine 12 years ago.
Okay.
It was a really nice gift. My wife has used it a few times
Sure.
in those 12 years. I may have used it more than her in those 12 years. And it's not something that I'm like, oh, I'm a seamstress or a seamster. But but when it comes to it, I know enough how to do it. I was telling Jake, I remember all this shit from fucking middle school.
Yeah.
In middle school, we had to learn home economics. We had to sew.
Yeah.
I think we even, as gay as it sounds, sorry if that's politically incorrect, I think we had to sew aprons.
Oh,
because
really?
we cooked in home economics. I think you had to make yourself an apron of
That's fun.
of some sort.
Yeah.
Because we had to bake and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Lady chores.
Lady chores.
So I just have always remembered. I mean, it's not that hard. You wind the bobbin, I think it's called the bobbin.
Yeah.
You get that full of thread. You put that down below from your master spool.
Yeah.
And you leave your master spool. You wind it all together, and you make sure it's coming out the back. You run your shit through it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's way more seamstresses that are way better than I am.
Yeah.
I do not claim to be a good seamstress, but
Yeah.
I must admit it's something that's kind of fun. And maybe it's kind of fun because I don't do it all that often.
Sure.
And you get to get the sewing machine out, and it's kind of fun. You get to push the pedal, and the shit
Yeah.
goes. The faster you push it, it's just like a car, man. It goes
Just
fucking
gotta be
faster.
careful.
It's faster. You get shit fucked up real quick. But anyways, success.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see my seams are a little bit like the ocean. They're a little bit up
Yeah.
and down. But you know what? Fucking thing holds a 20-pound dog. So
So you found a lady chore that you do now. So what we're saying is,
well, I should say a lady chore that's kind of cool.
so right. But what I'm saying is, so there are still for the infinite number of genders and things that we have these days, there are certain jobs around a home in particular that is still usually done by women or usually done by men. You know, so that's what we're talking about ones that are actually lady chores.
I think this is probably like a 1960s type of lady chore.
Yeah.
Things have changed a lot in 40, 60 years.
True, but I mean a lot of houses. Who does the mowing?
You know what?
I know there's a lot of women that mow, but for the most part,
You and I both mow, but if you're driving down the road, how many women do you see out on that tractor?
a lot.
Yeah,
Now, at the same time, how many men do you see planting flowers?
not many.
Lady chore.
Probably a lady chore still.
I mean, that's just one of those that,
I have an uncle that loves his flowers.
Yeah.
But not many.
yeah. I mean, and this isn't a knock on women. That there are just certain things that, like, when it comes to planting flowers, I would not be allowed to do this.
Yeah.
Because I would not do them in the correct orientation to make sure that everything was exactly how my wife wants it. So
Yeah, I get asked to help, but it's mostly like just digging the holes.
right.
And then all of a sudden she's like, I got this. Get out of here.
Right. I lift heavy things, build
Yeah.
things from time to time. Like, those are the kind of things that I end up doing. Clothes. I can't do, like, I do a lot of laundry, but I don't do it correctly. And like, there's certain, like, my wife has a special basket, like, of her work clothes. Like, I'm not allowed to touch that.
Yeah.
Like, they're done a particular way, on delicate. Like, everything's got, only certain things can go together, because they can't be messed up. Again, with my clothes, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
All of my clothes go in together. All of my clothes come out together. Like, it is what it is, Man clothes all go together.
Yeah.
But separating it and handling the laundry professionally, like, correctly, sorry, that's a lady chore.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm not I mean, now that we have a 14-year-old,
Yeah.
the fam has kind of taken over.
Yeah.
Between my wife and my daughter, they knock out the laundry. I will do it if I need to help out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal. Now,
I'll take the trash out.
what about cooking?
Now, I think that cooking is...
Because that's an old school lady chore.
That's an old school lady chore, but I don't think that was a lady chore back when you
Yeah,
didn't...
I'm telling you, that's the 1960s lady chore.
But that's what I'm saying. But even back in the 60s, you didn't have the same percentage of women out in the workplace as you do now. To
Right.
where I really feel like cooking has become really a home chore. I mean, if you even have kids that are in high school or college that are still at home, I mean, husband, children, wife, anybody can do it. Everybody's got different things that they're really good at making. I mean, there's certain meals that if we're going to have them, I know that I'm the one cooking it.
Right.
If it's something on the grill, like I know that it sounds dumb, but like I have a system for making eggs that is phenomenal. Like I'm not ashamed to say that, I can make the shit out of some eggs. I learned at a young age a very particular way to make them. My scrambled eggs always come out light, fluffy, but cooked. I don't burn them. Like, there's a system,
Right.
But there's certain things that my wife makes that I won't even attempt.
Right. See, I don't cook.
Yeah.
I enjoy putting things together.
Yeah.
Putting dinners together. But when it comes to grilling, that's my arena.
Yes.
Like, the wife will prepare shit. I'll take it out and I'll grill it. Unless it's, of course, hot dogs, and it's just out of the pack.
Right.
But if it's chicken, she'll marinate it, get it. If it's steak, she'll marinate it, get it ready. I'll go grill the shit out of it. That's my arena. So, I mean, I guess in a sense I do cook.
Yeah.
It's just on the grill.
Sure.
But now I don't do it from scratch because, like I said, she's a pretty good marinator.
Yeah.
But like,
Dusting.
what?
Dusting.
Dusting. I mean, I can dust. I have dusted, but I don't do it much.
But if you did it, would you do it to Mrs. R's standard?
No.
I won't. I mean, I've tried, but I'm a failure at it. I mean, it doesn't matter how well. I could spend 4 hours dusting one room,
All right.
and there would still be dust somewhere in that room.
And I get where you're going with this, but we're doing the do you enjoy it or do you not enjoy it? Is there something that you do enjoy? Like I said, I kind of enjoy sewing a little bit.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed that. I mean, little known fact, I might have mentioned this on the show before, I'm not sure, but I never took shop one time. Because where I went to school, we had shop in 7th and 8th grade, and it was just shop. You made your birdhouses and your shelves.
Oh,
and
I did all that,
whatever you
both
did.
years.
And then in high school, you could take as much industrial arts as you wanted to,
I don't
where,
know if we had that in high school.
oh, I mean,
We had it in middle school.
You should have seen the wood shop that we had in our high school. It was, I mean, but
Well, we had like carpentry. Like we had the, how the joint
yeah,
vocational school,
Yeah.
had all those different. Well,
yeah,
Wadsworth was the carpentry for the Tri-County.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't think they had a shop. They just built shit.
Yeah. Well, I never got into it. Like, it wasn't my thing. So 7th grade, you get a lot of guys back when I was in school that in 7th grade, because 7th grade home ec was cooking, like the whole class. So a lot of guys would take that, because you get to cook the entire time, right? I mean, you're getting an extra meal,
Sure.
2 days a week or whatever when you're actually doing your cooking and
Is
building.
this where you learned your eggs?
No, I learned my eggs from my mom. But then 8th grade year is it's more like life skills, to where like it was the sewing. Like sewing was like half of the class, and then the other half was like bill management, stuff like that. Like
Right.
how to actually run a household.
Economics.
At that point, all of the guys opt out, except for me. I was the only one. So it was me.
Because you like numbers.
Well, it was me and like 15 girls in the class. Well,
and the ladies.
Well, you've been around me enough to know that, like, if I get into something, I'm kind of meticulous about, like, I want to be good at what I
Guilty
do.
as charged as well.
Right. If I'm going to have to do something, I'm going to mind fuck it until I have it figured out in a system and how I can do it, to where, like, the first thing that we did was we had to order one of those packets that you had to, like, sew a stuffed animal together. So you could pick whatever your animal was, and that was a different pattern, and you had to have different sews, different spaces. I mean, you know how to set a sewing machine, right?
Not much, but
So me,
I can thread it.
So me, like, my mom has been sewing since I was a kid. So I talked to my mom about it a lot, to figure out exactly what I wanted to do and kind of what stitches I need to do where, to where my stuffed animal came out, like, I'm just saying, for being a 7th grader, like, this thing came out like commercial grade, and everybody was like, what the hell?
Your mom did that, didn't she?
Right. But no, because you had to do the whole thing in class. You couldn't take it home to work on it.
Okay.
Because they didn't want mom sitting down and sewing it in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
To where and we voted for, like, the president of the thing, like, at the end of the first 9 weeks, and, like, everybody's like, well, clearly, like, it's got to be Jake. So the only guy in there, and I was the president of it. Well, then it carried over into high school to where, hilarious, I was the president of our high school's Future Homemakers of America for 2 years in high school. But I loved it. It was so much fun. Like, putting all the stuff together and, like.
So here's the big football guy. Mm-hmm. I'm the president of the
right
homemakers.
But it was so much fun to where, like, and it got to the point where my senior year, like, I'm recruiting dudes to come in. Like, hey, it's a pretty easy A, but you also are going to learn some cool shit in here. And, like, I'm outvoted every time by all the girls. So I actually got a whole bunch of dudes, like, guys that I played football and wrestled and stuff with, to sign up for it. And it ended up being, like, when the year was over, the teacher, she's like, this is one of my best classes I've ever had because it was so diverse. Like,
right.
It wasn't just all the same girls doing all the same things, to where, like, and we would have, like, battle of the sexes things, back when you were allowed to do that, because it didn't mean that we actually were looking down on anybody or
you mean
anybody.
You didn't hate everybody?
No, I didn't. So it was actually super fun. It was one of the most fun things I did in high school, but, like, it was funny because once in a while, like, 2 or 3 times a year, you'd have, like, conferences in the area, to where, like, all of the officers would get together and, like, plan something for, like, the county or for the region. And I was always the only dude. Like, I was the only one that was actually, like, a ranking member. Like, you know what I mean? So they were always like, you're not going to be a homemaker. You're going to make twice what I make. This is bullshit. Like, I was always ostracized there. So it was kind of funny to me.
Did you ever, throughout those home economics years, did you ever have to, like, keep the bag of flour alive like a baby, or?
Oh, well, not the bag of flour. We had to do the egg.
The egg. Yeah, I was going to say, or the egg.
We had the egg one that we had to do, and then, like, we actually, they had, like, one of those simulator babies that we had in class to where throughout the school day, to where it's like, and this was when we were in high school, to where, like, if you mess up and you have a baby, this is what your school day would be like with a baby, to where some of the other teachers would, like, get really upset about it because you're carrying a baby into your class. So you could be in the middle of a test and all of a sudden fake baby starts crying and you got to figure out what fake baby wants while all these other kids are taking a test, to where it kind of became a thing for a while.
You got to figure out what fake baby wants.
Right. And the most fun was that,
what's your kid's name? Fake baby.
Right. We had probably somewhere between 10 and 12 total football coaches on the staff. Well, the 3 main coaches, I mean, our head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, were all teachers. And they were all like 20-plus year teachers when I was in school. I mean, these guys are legends, right? Everybody knew dude, you talk about 3 guys that hated the baby 9 weeks because they didn't want nothing like that in their classroom. I mean, they literally taught, 2 of them were science teachers. The other one was a history teacher. They don't want babies crying in the middle of their classes while they're giving lectures and going over stuff.
From football players.
Right. So the head coach was always the best because he was so animated, Shut that damn baby up! Like, right in the middle of class all the time. Like, he'd swear at us, If it don't shut up, get the hell out of here,
Yeah.
Good times. So, can't say that with a baby, though, these days.
No.
So.
Yeah, we had the bag of flour. I do believe it was the bag of flour.
Yeah.
And if your bag of flour ripped or got broken,
yeah,
you didn't get a good grade.
Yeah. So if you do have any other lady chores that we haven't mentioned, because there's a ton of them out there that you actually enjoy, don't be afraid to drop us a line at theharperguys@gmail.com.
Theharperguys@gmail.com.
So throw it out there. I have something fun that I wanted to bring up.
Yes.
Just nothing to bitch about. Something kind of like, I like fun things.
What?
Anomalies in this world. We've talked before how there's one Blockbuster left.
Yes. Where is it at?
It's in Washington, of all places.
Seattle?
It's outside of Seattle.
It's going to be alluded here shortly.
So this guy that owns this, like, he's like, I'm not giving up the ship. Basically, this whole town supports it, and now it's turned into where, like, tourists come from all over the place.
But do you think he still is now with all this bullshit going on?
Let me get there.
Yeah.
So, like, he wrote this great big huge thing about how basically, people literally will travel from far and wide. They've got a couple things with a couple like bed and breakfasts in the area, to where people will come into the bed and breakfast as part of it. They'll go down to Blockbuster, rent 3 or 4 movies, and have like a movie night at their bed and breakfast, So he put a thing out and basically said, hey, we love our patrons. We love our tourists that come in here. You guys really keep us alive. We understand that right now people aren't renting movies from us the way that they used to, but we're still not going to close down. So what they're doing, and you can get on Airbnb right now and look this up. They have turned short term until they get fully operational and everybody's allowed to be wide open again. They have turned this Blockbuster into an Airbnb. So
Bed and breakfast?
No, just an Airbnb. So basically, they've got a couple rollaway couches in there, a real nice big seating area that they made. There's cool pictures of it online to where you can rent this place for the night. Now, here's the catch. Per night, you want to take a guess at how much it costs per night?
$1,190.
$4.
Oh,
But
that was way off.
But they went the extra mile. This guy got approved for a liquor license in the town. So if you want a mini bottle out of the fridge, it's
$55.
No, it's a couple dollars for this. Each one of the movies, like you have to like scan for the movie that you want, and then you put it in, and like you get charged for that. To where they have a popcorn machine, to where like if you want to make popcorn, there's instructions, and so everything's a la carte, to where you can spend as much or as little as you want to for the night.
So you could just crash there for $4.
Yeah, legitimately. Like if you didn't,
But if you're going to stay at the Blockbuster, you might as well watch 2 or 3 movies if you can.
I mean, right, and that's basically what they're saying is that they haven't had anybody doing that yet. That's just coming in and like trying to squat. I mean, squatters don't typically use a lot of Airbnb time. You know what I mean? But I think it's kind of a cool thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I lived in the area and we were looking to get out of town for a couple of days, I'd go stay there and
Hell yeah.
just go on a movie and drinking binge for a couple of days. I mean,
To know that you had a spot to stay for $4?
right, and the whole place is glass. You know what I mean? Because you know how you can always see in the entire
Yeah,
building.
there's probably not a shower.
Yeah, I would doubt that there's a shower in there,
Yeah.
but still, even for one night, you can get by without a shower.
I mean, you need a toilet. That's about it.
Yeah, which I'm sure they have. So pretty cool though. So if you're looking for something interesting to do, I'm not sure how much they're getting blocked out already because it sounds like it's wildly popular.
Right.
But like the dates are going like crazy, and they're only opening up so many dates at a time
Right.
because they didn't want anybody to get on there and just be like blocked out the whole thing. So kind of cool. If you're looking for something to do, check out the Blockbuster on Airbnb.
Now, you mentioned squatters. Mm-hmm. Segway.
Oh, do we got an update?
We have an update.
Update.
It's an update. The squatters across the street. Mm-hmm. Whoa! I know the last time I think I talked about this, it was about, let's see.
Weren't they
This
going
was-
to court and they were
No.
like they had 30 days or something left?
No, see, I had told you that the landlord had stuck some things on the front door. If you're not up to date, I'll bring you up to speed real quick.
Yeah.
But neighbors across the street, we have about 7 or 8 squatters over there. What happened was, real quick, summarize, there was a lady across the street that rented from a landlord that lives right beside me.
Yep.
It's a duplex, the only duplex on the street. And nice lady. And then at one point she brought in her daughter and her daughter's 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't really allowed. The landlord,
Right.
because he's a really nice guy, he said, okay. She told him it was temporary. They had to get back on their feet. Of course.
Right. It's always temporary.
10 years later, the main lady that was the renter, the grandma,
Yep.
she decided she had to get out because the daughter, who is now about 38
Yeah.
at this point, she had her daughter, her son, her son's 2 friends, or they might be relatives even,
Yeah.
and another girl. That's 6 adults plus the grandma. That was 7 adults living in this 2-bedroom. I don't know how they even did it.
Right.
Obviously, there was some basement action going on,
Yeah.
whatever.
All kinds of drug problems and stuff.
The girl across the street had, or the 38-year-old, her and her friend got, they overdosed. Well, her friend overdosed on heroin. They had to have the squad come out and revive her. She survived. So all this bullshit going on. Plus, they're dealing drugs. You can just see it. It's
Sure.
obvious. Let me take a breath. So we're up to present day. We thought that I read some stuff online and it said, okay, the landlord can go up there and put a eviction notice. It'll be for like 3 or 4 days. if they don't get out, then he can go back and put a 30-day notice. Then they have to be out.
Right.
We thought that's what happened. We went over there and asked him about it, and he's like, hey, I put a 7-day. They didn't leave, so I don't know what to do. His son was over there. He's like, listen, we got to get their fucking asses out of here. So after a long delay, we thought it was going to be like middle of July.
Yeah.
This past Monday, they went to court.
Oh.
He's suing the original tenant, the grandma,
Sure.
and the squatter, the 38-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
for $15,000.
Boom.
Well, up to
Yeah.
$15,000. The judge gave them. Oh, I guess she was cussing at the judge. This lady is high class. Now this is the 38-year-old.
That's a way to make headway in court. Swearing
Yeah.
at a judge.
Oh, if you look at public records,
Yeah.
this is number 4, eviction
For these people?
for this lady,
Boy.
the 38-year-old.
Should be easy for her to get another apartment.
Yeah, so I'm sure when the judge saw this, he's like, "Oh, we're siding on her side."
Right.
Not.
Welcome back.
Now, I will say that the other ones are quite old, 2004, but still, she's got a record.
She's been there for 10 years. I mean, how many new ones are you going to have?
Right, exactly. So our neighbor comes over. He says, "Listen, they've got 5 to 7 days." He said 5 days, but I'm thinking it's business days.
Yeah.
So this happened on Monday, the 10th. They will be. The sheriff will be there this coming Monday.
Oh, man. You taking a day of vacation and getting some popcorn ready and having a yard party?
I'm definitely working from home that day.
Right? I'll bring a mask over, bring my computer.
Listen, it's going to be a good time. Now, what we had hoped was, we heard that if the 38-year-old hadn't shown up, that they were going to come on the 11th and just put shit in the front yard.
Right. Audi 5000.
That's not happening because she showed up 10 minutes late, mind you.
Of course you did.
From our house to the courthouse, it's about 5 minutes. If she was still at my wife's watching because we were interested.
Oh, sure.
At 105, she's still at the house.
And you're like, oh, man.
And then the car picks her up at 105. She went, apparently.
Huh.
The nerve of some people.
Right. So now we're waiting to see. So the next show, we'll get another update on.
We will know for sure.
All right.
Now, yeah, it's quite interesting.
So fun.
We have a reason for really rooting for the landlord here. 2 reasons. 1, we just hate people getting taken advantage of.
Yeah.
2, my wife's sister, who happens to also be 38 years old.
Yeah.
This generation, I don't understand. And I know it's not all 38-year-olds.
So we're not too far from 38.
I know, but there are, I don't know why, but I've it's not just these 2. I've heard of, now I know this is a small sample size.
Sample size.
But she does the same thing. She has been evicted so many times.
Yeah.
Runs around, fucking landlords, not literally, but like screwing them over their rent and then getting evicted, and then squatting, making them go to the courts, spending all this money. We just wanted to win for the landlord because we don't get along with her sister, obviously, from the way I'm talking.
Yeah.
And we're just like, this is like basically like we're trying to get her sister out of here.
Right. I feel like landlords get a bad name sometimes.
Well, after this, I would never want to be one, man.
I would never want to be
Plus,
one anyway.
we heard stories about our coworker having problems.
Oh, yeah.
Our coworker got sued for stupid reasons, but just to be a landlord, they're being nice to somebody, and then they end up getting sued because they were being nice.
Well, we know another person that we work with that has a couple rentals that had one gutted a couple years ago. Like the people said that they were leaving and everything seemed like it was kosher, and they showed up a couple days after they were gone to start cleaning, and all kinds of shit was gone. I mean, they were ripping out stuff left and right that shouldn't have been going.
Right. So the eviction update, that's part of it, is our neighbor is scared to death that they're just going to destroy the place.
Well, if he's got that injunction in place, I'm sure that he can.
So
he's going to be going back on them and taking pictures immediately of whatever it looks like when he walks in.
So what happened was, whatever the value was that he won. He won the case.
Sure he did.
Whatever the number was, 2,500, 3,200, whatever the number was that he ended up getting.
Yeah.
He said, as long as the place isn't destroyed, I won't turn that in. If I walk over there and it's in pretty good shape, I will cancel that. You guys are on your way. I'm done with you.
That's a smart way of doing it. Mitigate some problems for yourself. That's smart.
Well, what
I
he did,
respect
what
that.
he didn't want is and I'm sure this was his lawyer probably advising him.
Mm-hmm.
What he didn't want is, all right, I'm going to sue you for $3,000.
Yeah.
I'm never going to see a dime of this anyways.
Right.
And then you go destroy my shit for another $10,000.
Right.
Then I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So I think it's smart.
Yeah, I do too.
Real quick side note though. So this happened on Monday the 10th.
Yeah.
On Sunday, another grandma shows up. A different one we haven't seen before.
Okay.
And there's one of the young girls coming out, and they're unloading stuff into the place. We're like, what the fuck? And we see kids stuff. And then I'm starting to think, they're trying to make it look like a kid's living here. For whatever reason, they're grasping at straws.
Right, because you can't evict, you can't shut power and stuff off. When
You know,
there's
I mean,
kids. Yeah.
The problem is, though, they're just not smart. If the grandma had still been living there while this was going on,
Yeah.
they might have had a chance because she's the original tenant.
Yeah.
And if there's a small kid living there with an original tenant, you might have some leg to stand on. But because the original tenant said, fuck off, I'm out of here because, one, I don't want to be around this environment anymore.
Sure.
Because you're a squatter, I don't care. They don't care if you have a kid living there. You're a squatter.
Right.
I'm sorry. You
gotta go.
You do have some rights, but you don't have enough rights to just completely fuck a landlord out of his property.
No.
So that's my update.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited. There will be some popcorn in the yard on Monday.
Beautiful.
Come on over.
Can't wait for the final update of when they're out and then who the new neighbors are.
Right. And you have anything?
No.
All right. So something that completely pissed me off out in the fucking marketplace.
Oh shit.
And I've brought this up before. I'm going to bring it up one more time. I don't know why. Is your grocery store or Walmart, wherever you go for toilet paper, still gouging?
I don't think so. I think it's back to normal.
Our toilet paper at the local grocery store where we go to is ridiculous. It's still, for a 6-pack or like maybe a 12-pack, it's still like $19, $24.
What? No. You need to branch out then.
No, I don't buy it there. But I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Why are they still gouging?
I don't know.
It's not in demand anymore. It's not like it's a low quantity problem.
No. And just for the record, now's the time to be stocking up. Because there's going to be another one at some point in time. Anybody that thinks that this is the end of the sicknesses, we've had H1N1, the norovirus, like we've had all different bird flu things over the years.
But still, why would you stock up on toilet paper?
Because it's going to, like, this shit's going to happen again. No pun intended. Like, it's going to.
But still, why would you stock up on toilet paper?
Why would you not?
Why would you? It's not the complete diarrhea flu.
Well, the next one might be, though. And then you're back to square one.
It's dumb. Do not
telling
steal
you-
all the toilet paper. It's stupid.
Buy it incrementally. If you use half a pack a week, buy a pack a week for a while. Before you know it, you'll have 100 rolls put back, and you're golden when it goes crazy.
I know, but still, why are people going in when they could and buying 10 rolls
Right.
or 10 packs? It's stupid.
Right.
It's not. We're not prepping here.
Yeah.
We're trying to avoid the corona.
Agreed. I don't disagree with you.
Common sense, people.
Yeah.
So that was a quick one.
Sure, I like it.
Okay. So about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, maybe it was 3 or 4 years ago. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
They started a road construction project in Norton, Ohio. It was the bridge.
Yeah.
The main bridge going over the highway.
Yes.
On Cleveland-Massillon.
Yeah.
It took 2 fucking years.
To get this done. Yes, I'm aware. It was ridiculous.
Now, they have started redoing the plaza area, the little intersection there, and making it really nice. It was really shitty the way it was before.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good size. Norton is a decent sized small little town.
Yeah.
And they never had sidewalks. They never. I mean, certain areas like the new allotments they have.
Sure.
But like for the downtown area, no sidewalks. Well, they finally added them.
Yeah.
Wow. We actually want people to walk around our plazas and things. Amazing, right? Hey, kids can come from their neighborhood and ride their bikes down here without getting squashed in the street.
Yeah.
But why is this taking 2 fucking years? I can't. This is another 2-year fucking project.
Right.
And it'd be one thing if they were working every fucking day. But we went almost 2 months, and the shit was just stagnant.
Really?
The fuck is going on?
I don't know.
I mean, are the road crews that busy, you think?
I mean, there's a lot going on right now. I mean, every place you go, there's construction. And I feel like this time of year, you always get it. It'll start to wind down somewhere around October into November. And then you won't see a lot, especially when the snow goes on January, February. And then by the time March gets here, if it's not a monsoon blizzard like we always get, then it's going to be right back up again. And it's the same roads, the same places. Like every couple years, they tear them up and redo them. It is what it is. I've gotten to the point where I try to not get too upset about it anymore because it's almost like a fact of life. If you live anywhere that there's any kind of population, this shit's always going to be going on.
You know what? I can understand on the highways. And the reason why I can understand it is because in our region, there's a lot of ice and snow at times. And when the big plows are coming through, it fucks up the highways.
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
I get it. So I'm okay with the highway barrels. I'm over those.
Yeah.
But when your small town decides they're going to fix the roads and widen some lanes and add a turn lane and really make it nice, just get it fucking done.
Yeah.
Why should it drag on?
I don't know, man.
Do you think, I mean, let's try to just put things into perspective. Do you think it's a money thing? I can't imagine it is.
Oh, it is, because what happens is there's a certain amount of money, especially when you get into like state roads, like what we're dealing with right here. There is a certain amount of money that gets allocated every year by the state, per county, per district, for projects, right? And what they'll do is they'll allocate this money, right? So let's say that they allocate, we'll just use a round number here. Let's say they allocate $1 million to fix this bridge, okay? If you fix that bridge for $600,000, right? What they do is they'll come back and they'll say, okay, basically, we overshot our estimate by 40% because materials and labor in this area are lower than what you're going to get in other areas. So next year, when you get your $1 million again, you know what happens? You don't get $1 million.
You get 600,000.
Right. So then on the next project, when you overshoot it by 200,000,
you get a little bit more
the following year, but then your municipality is out that $200,000 that it took to finish that project. So that's why when it comes to these projects, you see the same 4 guys on the same 4-foot section for a week straight because they're soaking up that money because they want to send everything right up to the line, maybe go $20,000, $30,000 over, to where on paper they used it all. But hey, the community pitched in a little bit, to make sure that we got it done to keep that money coming in. That's exactly how the process works.
Hashtag bullshit.
Well, that's how it works, man.
Well, that's a stupid way to have a project.
It is.
It's a stupid way to have a system. You know what? If it only takes $600,000 to do it, just get it fucking done.
Yeah.
Why waste our fucking time?
I don't disagree with you.
And you know what? Sometimes these barrels and shit fucking make shit unsafe.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shit you. One time we had so many barrels up by that bridge. I swear to God, we had a stop sign.
Yeah.
Off of the expressway, and then you had to go a little bit further, and there was another stop sign that basically was a yield to the traffic coming the same way you were.
Yeah.
But there's also a gas station right there, BP.
Sure.
And I saw this old lady. She stopped at the main one, stopped at the secondary one. She wanted to go over there to the gas station, but so many stops, her old lady brain, she finally made the left-hand turn to go straight, and then she saw a car coming. She stopped, and the fucking guy T-boned her.
Oh.
Now, he didn't hit her all that hard, but still. Jesus Christ. It confuses people. It's dangerous.
Sure. But, I mean, we've had, in the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 elderly people pull right out in front of us. I mean, and like, to the point where, like, I'm so defensive on my driving. Like, I watch every intersection, especially if it's a place that I know really well. I watch every intersection for every car that's going on, so we didn't hit either one of them. But it just refined in me what we've talked about before on the show. There needs to be a number, whether it's age 60, 65, 70, whatever it is, to where from that point on, every year you have to take a driving test.
No, I agree with that. I was going to say, I thought you meant like it was going to be a cutoff. No, I think it should be per person.
No, if you can still drive, there's people that are in their 80s that are fine driving.
Right. No,
but there's people that are 80 that should not be behind the wheel of a car ever.
There's people that are 65 that drive 2 miles an hour and are dangerous because of that.
Sure.
They need to get those people off the road.
I don't disagree.
If you aren't comfortable driving the speed limit, then you need to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Have your daughter drive you.
Yeah. So speaking of driving, segue. I got another pretty cool thing that I was looking at. So on one of our last couple shows, we've been talking about, like, with all the uncertainty and the craziness in the world right now, how bunkers are becoming a big thing.
Again?
Oh, huge. Like if you just go Google,
DIY bunker?
or if you like, not even that, like if you like go try to buy a bunker, what you'll get is all these companies will come up that's what they specialize in, is making underground bunkers and stuff like that. If you look at any of them though, every one of them have a disclaimer on them right now. You know, construction could be 18 to 24 months out, 24 to 36 months out, because they're so backed up with all these people doing this, right? So I was listening to a guy explain this the other day, and I thought this was so interesting that one of the things that a lot of people are starting to do that live in cities that have some means is people are buying small pieces of land that are off the beaten path, getting out into the rural areas with the idea of, you know, if something really goes down, you want to become isolated. You don't want to be right in the middle of 100,000 people when resources are getting scarce. One of the things that he said, and I think I brought this up on the last show, is that it's the 72-hour rule. Is if shit hits the fan, if all of a sudden we wake up tomorrow, nobody's debit card works anymore, somebody's hacked our entire system, nobody has any money, the things that you have...
Could happen.
Yeah, the things that you have are all that you have. Basically, it says that most families are prepared to live for about 72 hours. After that is when you're going to start seeing neighbors turning on neighbors. You want what your neighbor has to try to sustain yourself and your family, to where this is where they're saying, when this happens, you need to find a way to get out. You know, one of the rules they say is you don't want to be taking like major highways at that point, you know, to where we have found, like we have a small piece of property that's kind of desolate out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, we know that that's where we would go. You know, it's a sparsely populated area. You know, we know a lot of the people that do live right there. They know us, to where if we showed up out there, we would know that we had some people to contact, you know, if something happened, you know, to where we're not completely out in the middle of nowhere on our own, but we're not in the middle of where the shit's all going down. We talked about too, you know, we don't want to take that highway. So we've mapped out, you know, we can back road it the whole way to get exactly where we want to go.
Take you a little longer, but you get there.
Right. So then the final piece of the puzzle that I found. Okay. So I'm thinking about this, and I was thinking about this when I heard this. I was like, okay, so that happens. I mean, we all have 4-wheel drive vehicles in our family, you know, but what if you don't? What if you're driving, you know, a Chevy Cruze or something like that, you know, to where it's not really made to go anywhere? There was a company called World Traveler. Have you heard of World Traveler?
I have not.
So what this company does, amazing. You should get on their website, check out worldtraveler. I think it's .com. I think it's either .com or .net. It's one of the two. And what they do is they will take, you can choose your level of involvement. They have everything. I think the base that they start with is Ford F-150, and they go all the way up to, like, you can get like an Escalade, and they even have one that's like, looks like a small tour bus if you want to go this route. What they do is they take this thing, right? And you pre-order exactly, like, they have different packages and different add-ons that you can put, but it's basically, you can build this thing from one person to up to 15 people. They fortify this thing to make it bulletproof. They put updated shocks, struts, no flat tires, like basically tires that you can shoot the tire and it's not going to explode. You just keep going down the road.
I'm sure this is real cheap.
You can have gun ports put on these things to, like, if you're actually actively trying to get out of an active shooter situation, to where you can get out. And then they actually make these things to where once you get to where you're going, you can use a compression system. It will sit all the way down on its base and basically create a completely enclosed shell to where nobody can get into it. And it's truly off-road. There's videos that they have on there of these things literally climbing dunes and mountains and stuff that's like going over.
So they
4
take
foot
your
tall
existing
trees.
vehicle?
No, they take the one that you order. So it's not your existing vehicle. And again, not super cheap, but like the basis one that you can start off with is like 50 grand. Now, if you go all in for the tour bus, you know, because you're taking the Swiss Family Robinson with you, $1.5 million.
Of course.
For the absolute most deluxe one. But it's something that I thought about. You know what? Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I think it'd be a fun investment, even if you just had something like that to tool around in a little bit.
I wouldn't mind, if I was really worried about it, I wouldn't mind springing for the 50 grand one.
And to me, it's almost one of those things where I hate to say it this way, but you know how my brain works. I'm thinking, okay, maybe if you looked at it from this perspective, take some people that you know. You got somebody that's good at carpentry work, somebody that's good at electrical work. You got a doctor, a nurse, some people that have some real practical skills that you would need.
Make sure the doctor stocks up on the antibiotics.
Right, but I'm just saying, which that would be part of the doctor's job. But if you pulled a small group together, formed an LLC, created basically a co-op within this whole thing, you know, to where it's like, if something happens, this is our rendezvous point. This is when you have to be here, and this is when the ship's leaving town.
Reminds me of the movie The Village. They all just get together and they got everything they need.
I've never seen it.
No?
M. Night Shyamalan? I mean, I think that's his movie, right? The Village? But I don't think I've ever
You should
seen
watch it once.
Yeah.
That's all. The second one won't be as good.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of Joe Rogans to catch up on.
Yeah.
You got one movie.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of movies, that was another question I had for you tonight. Not to get too far away from the things you have on the list.
No, we're good. We already hit our hour.
Okay, well, just a few more minutes, then. And I want your opinion on one thing, because we talk about TV shows and stuff like that all the time. As everybody spends so much more time at home, you can do things constructive, but people are watching a lot of television and YouTube or whatever you're into these days. Have you seen anything lately that you would recommend to the masses? Like, hey, this is a good watch. You should give this a watch.
Yeah, we talked about it, I think, last time. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but maybe the show before. But I finished finally the Last Dance.
Oh, did you?
That was good.
Yeah. Fuck that shit. Sorry. I watched a couple episodes of it, and I just hated the Chicago Bulls so bad I can't watch it. It's all about the Michael Jordan era in Chicago.
You hated the Bulls?
With a dying passion.
Really?
I rooted against them every time they were in the playoffs all of those years. I fucking hated the Chicago Bulls.
Really? That's interesting.
Yes. My brother, on the other hand, is one of the largest Michael Jordan fans on the planet.
Is that why you hated them so much?
It was part of it. That growing up, I mean, I was a Barkley fan. He was a Jordan fan back then.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my first love was Magic. Like the first time I saw Magic, I'm like, this guy is different. And I loved his game, and he was Showtime and everything, super competitive. Like him and Larry.
And then Jordan beat him. You got pissed.
Well, Jordan beat him in the finals after he took out Detroit, but I didn't like that Detroit team, though, either.
No.
The Bad Boys.
Oh, hated them.
I mean, back then, because you got Larry Legend in Boston, you got Magic out west. Like, I like those two teams.
Yeah, I think Detroit fans were the only ones that liked that Detroit team.
Right. I mean, you look back on them now, nostalgic-wise, and it's a different breed.
They were dicks.
But championship dicks. I mean, they were super talented dicks. It's like 12 Albert Bells got together and played basketball together. It was awesome. Like, you got to love those kind of guys once in a while. So, anything besides The Last Dance?
I mean, yeah, there's probably been others. Go ahead. What do you got?
I got two. One is, and you got to have HBO to watch it, sorry, but it's called I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
Haven't seen that.
It's a 6-part true crime documentary series. I'm not going to give a whole bunch of information about it. I'm just going to tell you that it's about the Golden State Killer. So if you're any kind of true crime into it, it's super interesting. It starts back in the 70s and it goes all the way until just a year ago to where all of this stuff happens. And it's really an eye-opening, kind of mind-blowing thing to show how far true crime's come in the last 25 years. There's some people involved in it that were really on the cutting edge of getting us to where we are today. It's really, really interesting. So there's that one, and Tread. Tread is on Netflix. I implore everybody to go watch Tread. It's about an hour and 25 minutes long. I'm not going to give the whole story away, but it is about a disgruntled citizen in a town in Colorado. And what he does is...
True story?
100% true story with live action true video from...
The goings on?
From what actually happened.
I like a story like that.
It is amazing.
Is that only on HBO?
No, that's Netflix.
What is it?
It's called Tread.
Ooh, I'm there tonight.
And I'm telling you, if you watch it, you're going to be like, thank you. Thank you for something so original, but so true. And there are so many things about it that I love. And I know that doesn't make any sense because you haven't seen it yet, but it's one of those things that even if you disagree with some of the ideologies and stuff that this guy has, there is something for everybody in this. There is a note that this guy will strike with each person in the different areas when it comes to the different things that happen to him. It's fucking amazing.
Sounds like, just from your description, sounds like the movie Falling Down.
If you've seen Falling Down, I could see how these guys would be related.
Yeah?
But it's
because he just had a bad day.
But it's different. It's not
Michael Douglas hoo-ah.
Yeah. Don't you fucking hoo-ah me, motherfucker.
No, it wasn't a hoo-wah.
Yeah.
It was the hoo-ah.
Yeah. But
very, very, very similar.
Highly recommend Tread. And then I know that true crime isn't for everybody. I know that documentary isn't for everybody. There's one, I just forgot the name of it. There's In the Dark. So there's one called I'll Be Gone in the Dark. That's HBO. There's one just called In the Dark. There's 2 seasons of it on Netflix.
Yeah, I've combed past this and never watched it.
Okay, the first season is good. Okay, but the first season ends really strong. The second season, absolute fire. One of those shows that they realized that they had something. They did a really, really good job with production, storyline, acting, whole 9 yards. Husbands and wives can really enjoy watching this together. A wife can watch it by herself. A husband can watch it by herself. Not quite kid material just because of some of the stuff that goes on, but fantastic. So
All right.
just a few things for you to watch if you're looking for something.
Very good.
You got one more topic to close us out tonight? Or?
Real quick one.
Yeah.
I have a Behringer update. Grr.
So for those of you that don't know what the Behringer is, our soundboard is an Alessis. She has been fantastic to us from the beginning, but it comes time where you need to upgrade.
You need to upgrade
a little.
And this is the Alesis, Alesis, Multi-Mix 8 with a USB FX.
Yes. And if you're going to start a podcast, this is a wonderful entry level to where you don't have a lot of money involved, but you get some high quality out of it.
Jake bought this used, and it was decent. I mean, it wasn't expensive. It was about
right around $100,
70 to 80, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But it is more than carried the load.
Yes.
But being the audiophile that I am, I wanted to upgrade.
Yep.
So I purchased a Behringer 1204 USB, something like that. I think it's also an FX. Read a lot of reviews. People were just like, this is the one you want. You know, it was probably double the price of this, if not, probably about around double the price.
Sure.
I got it off eBay. I bought it from a well-known seller, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Got it, and there was a problem with it, with the output from the USB. Well, because we're going into a computer here, a USB issue is a big deal. Jake and I actually recorded one show with it, not knowing that it had a USB error. So I'm not sure what episode that is, but if you go back and find it, those we'll call you Harper files.
Yeah.
If you go through the Harper files and find that,
Yep.
You will notice that there's an audio discrepancy in that. I was very excited to have it, but we realized quickly that something's not right with it.
Right.
So brings us up to today.
Today.
Because I bought it in February. Today is, or we're in August now.
Yeah.
So I finally registered the thing, corresponded with the, not the seller, actually the manufacturer.
Behringer.
Yeah, Behringer, which they use this Music Tribe group that handles all this. It's kind of weird. Anyways, I sent it out, and it actually cost me a lot of fucking, I should have went to the Postal Service.
Yeah.
Probably would have cost me $20-some. It had to go back to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Woo.
So UPS charged me $48. Damn. And I said, what? Excuse me? Yeah, 48 and change. I'm like, fuck me. I mean, this thing already cost me almost $2.
Right.
Now it's going to be another $50.
Right.
So Madman got even more mad.
Sure.
Hand over the money. They take it out. A week later, baby shows back up.
Yeah?
Daddy's happy. Open it back up, plug it all in. Same fucking problem.
Nuh-uh.
Daddy's fucking pissed.
So did you call him?
They didn't even. Okay, I got a box with my box. I followed the fucking directions to a T. Write the RMA number. RMA number is a return number.
Yeah.
On the box.
Return
I wrote
material.
it wrote it on there like 4 different places. Put the correspondence in the original box inside of a protective box.
Yeah.
And it was the original box with all the packing stuff, just the way it should be. They send it back, my box in a different box, and no paperwork in the box. I look online real quick, no email saying, hey, we looked at this, found the problem, yada, yada. I'm like, they literally opened the box, put it in a different box, and sent it back to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I respond, and I say, listen, pretty pissed off right now. I spent $48 to ship this to you.
Yeah.
It's come back in the same shape it was when it left. Not sure what the fuck's going on. Didn't use those words because I'm still trying to get my product back and fixed and repaired. Brand new. Guy responds next day. Sir, I'm very sorry for your inconvenience in all this matter. It does show here that they did check the left and right pan, which it was only... When you put your headphones on this mixer, the left and right pan works. You can hear it in your left, you can hear it in the right.
Yeah.
But when you output it to your computer, it doesn't see that. When you go all the way to the left, it goes really loud, like it amplifies it. When you go all the way to the right, it just literally cuts off the sound. There's no sound.
Sure.
There's an issue. He says, but it shows they checked the right and left pan, but it doesn't show them anywhere that they checked the USB output.
What the hell?
Down below, I have attached a shipping label for you to send it back to us. So I'll let you know next time.
So we're getting closer.
So it's going to get fixed. But only this kind of shit happens to me.
They need to. Well, it doesn't just happen to you. Trust me. There's been all kinds of people that have dealt with shipping problems and companies that don't really do a good job of the customer service and things. So you know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping that you send it back. They're like, you know what? And they just send you another new one. That's what I'm hoping happens for you. Just a brand spanking new cellophane.
We're not going to fuck this guy anymore.
Yep, that's what I'm hoping happens.
I hope so. I wrote down here, I guess I will appreciate the mixer more than the guy that just bought one and it just worked right out of the box.
Well, that's fair. I think that anytime you go through something to get something, you definitely feel like that.
Yeah, like my couch.
Yeah. Hey, for everybody that's ever talked about doing it, I don't know, I think you talked about it on the show, but still mesmerized by the fact that the couch doesn't fit in the house. Adam busts out his
Sawzall.
Right? Goes all fucking Bob Vila on us. Actually takes his brand new couch apart, gets it into the room it's supposed to go into, reassembles it into brand new factory condition,
or close enough, anyways.
Well, it's incredible. I would have just been like, you know what? I'm gonna have a broken couch now because I had to get it through the doorway.
I wish Jay could explain my face when we figured out it wasn't gonna fit, because I was just like,
what we went through to get that thing in the house, down the steps to the basement where it was gonna go, and then we couldn't get it around the corner.
No, it didn't even get that far. Remember, we stood it up and it was like, literally.
That's what I'm saying. We couldn't get around the corner.
It was 8 inches. No, we didn't even get it past the first ceiling
But we got
part.
it all the way down.
Yeah, we got it all the way down.
Like
and
onto
then
the landing.
And then we stood it up, and it's got to fit under this. And it was literally 8 inches too tall. And I'm like, maybe if it was like an inch.
Yeah. And for the movers out there that are yelling this right now at us, well, you just kick the bottom out. No, the what would be like the front arm of the couch, once it was stood up, when we tried to kick the bottom out, it was hitting the wall on the other side. There wasn't enough room to kick it out. So just so you know, we've moved a lot of things.
Yeah.
We covered the bases. It wasn't happening.
This was a shit show. Okay, I measured the thing, but I didn't measure the one length because it had this backboard, and the backboard was shorter.
Yeah.
And then it had more of a cushion.
Yeah.
So it was definitely operator error.
Yeah.
I fucked it up, but you know what? I also made it work.
Yeah. So there's another one. If you've ever had to DIY something like that, to take it apart, to get it to where it needs to go, and then reassemble it, send us a picture, send us a story. We'll feature on our Twitter. We'll give you a little Twitter shot on that for that right there.
I'll tell you what. At some point, and Jake has been there, it becomes more about pride.
Right.
It kind of goes along the edge of stupidity. There's a little bit of stupidity there, but
Right.
it becomes pride.
Right.
And you're going to make it work.
I'm going to spend $300 on materials and tools to get this $250 piece where I need it.
That's right.
A little more expensive than that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for tonight.
Well, I've got nothing else.
All right.
So let's hit this bandwagon.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us tonight. As always, mental health, big deal. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and each other. If you have any issues with substance abuse, mental problems, anything you're going through right now, call 1-866-622-HELP. Somebody on the other line is there to help you.
Amen. If you have bad thoughts about hurting yourself or others, please make the call.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Pip, pip.
Cheerio.